As someone who's been slowly dipping their toes into the horror space, I've begun playing a lot of new horror games. One of these games is the remake of Resident Evil 2, and I honestly believe that it's a masterpiece among survival horror. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the atmosphere and the symbolism in the game as I see it. Resident Evil 2 starts us off as Leon Kennedy driving to Raccoon City to start a new job as a police officer. We stop at a gas station to fill up some gas, and this is where the core gameplay loop is introduced. It's obvious that the enemies in this game are going to be kinda hard to handle due to the low amounts of ammo and resources the game provides. Resident Evil 2 also has an atmosphere that is so well crafted. The way all the spaces look and feel is really intricate and well designed. Entering the RPD, you're met with a sense of warmth and welcome. It's a safe space for you because there's no danger here, yet. Now, as we enter, our attention is drawn to the computer next to the main desk. This is where our journey truly begins. You enter the East Wing and you make your way down the eerie halls, carefully crafted with blue hues that evoke fear in you as you make your way to the Watchman's room. And as you enter, you're forced to witness the grotesque murder of this poor policeman as he tries to escape. He's cut down at the waist, leaving his upper body limp, holding out a small notebook with an escape plan. As soon as the cutscene ends, you are deafened by the noise of zombies outside trying to break in, windows shattering and screams of terror, and the growls of something undead outside trying to force its way in. Now, let's pause. Why does the remake of Resident Evil 2 decide to do this here? Why does it decide to completely overwhelm the player so early on? It's to reinforce the idea that you are basically helpless. And as you either fight or run away from these zombies, you just barely make it out as you're saved by Marvin Branagh, a police officer here at the RPD who was bitten. Now, as we keep going on with the story, let's discuss the RPD's main hall. The way I see it, there are three versions of it. At the beginning of the game, after the second token, and after you meet Mr. X. At the start, you meet Marvin. It's a sanctuary. It's calm, it's safe. Marvin is hurt, but he seems mostly fine. Then after the second token, Marvin is passed out and very tired. He can't move or do much of anything, but he seems to be fine. The zombie noises on the East Wing grow louder as the room starts to feel suffocating. Then, when you come back to the RPD and meet Mr. X, the main hall loses all sense of security. Marvin becomes fully infected. Your first mentor is already infected. It symbolizes how the RPD was over before it even began. Mr. X can enter the main hall and you're no longer safe here. That's just one of the ways RE2 creates a false sense of security. The way I see it, Marvin's infection and the RPD main hall work together in unison. The main hall doesn't disappear and it doesn't remove the save option from the room. It just infects it with the same disease Marvin is infected with. As the infection takes over Marvin, it also takes over the main hall. Marvin is a symbol of peace, security, and authority. And the more that symbolism loses itself to infection, so does the security of the main hall. They both slowly become infected the more you progress. The rest of the RPD is also phenomenal. At the start, it's really confusing. There's a ton of locked doors, enemies in almost every room, and locked safes everywhere. It smothers you in the dark truth. The world is ending and you're the only survivor. There's not a single soul here to help you, and as you explore, finding keys and unlocking doors, shortcuts and upgrades, you start to become familiar with the space. You find yourself not needing to look at the map as often as the RPD's layout becomes a staple in your mind. You find it so perfectly implanted in your head that you feel comfortable running around anywhere without even glancing at the map. But just as you start to relax and get more comfortable, the game hits you with Mr. X. This honestly could have made or broke the game for me. I was really worried that Mr. X would make the game frustrating and annoying to deal with, but it doesn't. It's perfectly well done. He follows you around, but what's different is that you know the space you're in. You can juke him if you think smartly enough. The game gives you enough time to learn the map and then adds a new threat that keeps things interesting without ruining the experience. Back to our main point, The RPD is already infected when you get there. The illusion of order is broken by those who are meant to keep it safe. You can see it in Resident Evil 3, where you explore the RPD as Carlos. You can see the Lickers killing the 2 officers in the West Wing, and you can see Marvin being bitten. You can see the corruption happening, and it isn't just literal corruption. It symbolizes how Umbrella, a company meant to protect the people of Raccoon City, and the people who secretly run it, have failed it completely and destroyed it for greed. And if the RPD is meant to symbolize surface infection, the underground is a melting pot of infection. As you go underground, you find yourself in the parking lot, and this is where we meet Ada Wong. Ada saves us from the infected dogs here, but what does she symbolize? Well, first, let's take a look at her character. She's very secretive, and she claims to be FBI, which is a lie. But Leon is naive, still believing in the system. Why would anyone lie about being FBI, right? Ada is a symbol of the human need to live. Ada will do anything to get that T-virus sample and get it sold. She needs the money. Who knows, it may not even be for greed only. Maybe she's genuinely in need. Though I doubt it, seeing as she has insane equipment and a fake FBI badge. But my point stands. She's another example of false security. Yet she's also a very nuanced character that I will be making a separate video on. The parking garage is beautifully designed. The atmosphere is scary, but it's also very fun to explore, though it is easy to get lost in. But now we arrive at Nest, Umbrella's secret underground lab where this all began. The Nest is a mix of sewage systems and a high-tech lab. I believe the sewage is meant to show the infection spreading past the lab, that even the lab itself has crumbled under the pressure of its own creation as the infection forces its way into the city. The sewer is grotesque and disgusting, while the lab is sterile and scientific. There's a clear difference between what happens when the people in charge actually care. The RPD was once cared for. It was once clean and sterile, but as the infection that got worse, that care was stopped. The infection took over without the protection of its owners, and the same thing is happening to the Nest, though not nearly as bad. Yes, the lab is filled with zombies and monsters, but it's not nearly as bad as the sewage system or the city. It's very controlled. It's partially protected. This is the heart of the disease. Casualties exist, yet the mass amount of the lab is perfectly fine and intact, unlike the city, which has gone to basically shit. And the heart of it all remains fully intact, and as you explore, Leon's naivety starts to fade, and he sees the truth. The government corruption, the greed, what the need for money, immortality, and power does to people. As the game reaches its end, it's clear that the true monsters aren't the infected or the tyrant, it's the terrifying geniuses behind this lab, the city, and the country. As Leon escapes on the train, he recalls Ada. He misses her deeply, despite her lying to him. She also misses him, and even saves him in the last fight. Ada herself has changed. It's even said later on in Resident Evil 4 that the Raccoon City changed Ada from a cold mercenary doing whatever for money to stopping and doing what's right for the greater good, like how she refuses to give the Amber to Wesker. Resident Evil 2 teaches us that security is not promised, and the people who are supposed to take care of us can be wrong. And that infection, whether literal or metaphorical, is everywhere.